Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies Listen Up with my co-host, Mr. Cherrard. How are you today, sir?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Before we get started, though, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. I think today's topic is going to be very, very interesting and also give you
Yes,
something
ma'am.
to think about. So, Cherrard, you're going to teach me a new sport today. What sport are you going to teach me?
We're going to do the Jamaican bobsledding.
Whoa, the Jamaican bobsledding. All right, so bobsledding seems I probably need some winter gear, right?
Yeah, some winter gear, and some stamina because this is a I think it's a physical sport and that somebody has to push.
Really? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I gotta drink my green drink to get my stamina up. So
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're bobsledding.
well, all right, let's go. You pushing first.
All right. Today we're going to talk about the lost value system. And and I remember looking at a pyramid someone had put up about, having your life aligned properly. And if you have your life aligned properly, everything should go good, as far as, order of importance.
Okay.
So what do you think should be number one?
Ooh. Your spirituality should be number one.
Okay, spirituality or religion.
Right.
Yeah, yes. Or religion. Spirituality or religion. Because spirituality, religion, that gives you the foundation or the base of, who you are, your morals, ethics, and basically all of that. So that's cool. Okay. What should be number two?
Okay. So number two, well, actually, then if you have your foundation together, then your relationships, your family.
Okay. Family is number two.
Oh, okay.
That's correct. So now we have our foundation and then we have our support system.
Right.
Okay. What's the third one?
Well, now if you got your all those other two together, you have to have your business and your finances together to be able to take care of and support the other.
Now, those three things together is your pyramid.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now the lost value system I'm going to talk about today has 10.
Okay.
And it's going in order of importance. So we know spirituality, religion, your family, and business. But we all know things don't always work out that way. So with this new system that we have, in the way that we think, in this new culture that we have, instead of spirituality being number one, we have wealth. So our accumulation and possession of what we consider as valuable is our number one value.
Okay.
And now when we say, hey, we talk about marriage, they say marriage is a business. We look at marriage as a business now.
Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, you have a lot of women out now saying, hey, okay, look, I done worked hard. I done accumulated this. That is the most important thing. But yet and still, you can find a lot of unhappy folks with a lot of money.
Absolutely. Okay. So help me understand, when you say that people are looking at marriage as a business now, okay, I'm literal. So what does that mean?
Okay. When I was, I was listening to Michael Baisden, and that was one of his, that was his advice. You should look at marriage as a business, because when you have a partner come in and they have bad credit, you take on that bad credit, you take on their debts and their bad habits, spending habits and all that. So you don't want to bring in somebody that's going to destroy or mess up what you've accumulated.
Okay. But okay, then if you're just looking at it as a business, then where is the okay, you're smiling because you know where I'm going, huh? Like, I mean, okay, so if we're just looking at it just with the blinders on as a business, where is the love, the companionship, the caring for one another, or even the, okay, maybe your partner might be bad with money and you're good with money, but maybe you're bad with managing a household and they're good at managing a household. Isn't that like, I mean, we can't be like 100% dead on, spot on with everything. So don't we come together with two imperfect people perfect in their own selves coming together to make this marriage work? Is that, I mean, I don't know.
We would hope that would be the way.
Okay.
We would hope. We would hope. But like I said, you know, hey, we're the first thing we think about is, hey, I don't want anybody coming in and taking my stuff.
But stuff though, it's material depreciating assets. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it because it's wonderful to have, you know, nice things. I mean, I get that. But when you base your foundation in stuff, that's where I have a real problem or challenge with. When you're basing it on stuff and not, I mean, is that why we have this high 50%, is it 50% or higher in this divorce rate? Right.
Hey, that might be it. I mean, because if I'm looking at this marriage as a business, if I'm looking at it as a business strictly and not us trying to build together, us, you know, you can get money back all day long, right? You can, you know, you can accumulate money and this and the other. But when you find somebody that truly loves you for who you are, despite what you have, you know, I think that's more challenging than accumulating money.
The finding of that person is more challenging.
I think finding somebody that loves you for who you are, despite what you have, you know, because I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, okay, let's take Jada Pinkett, you know, and Will Smith, right? The boy Will just keeps straight getting dumped on. It's like this dude, he came through like Captain Saver, you know what? And, you know, he came through, saved her, put her on proper light, got her, you know, because Jada not the most talented actress that she's not even in the top 30 actresses, black actresses, because your top black actress is not even near the top 10 white in money wise. But as far as talent wise, Jada is not a talented actress. She has talent, you know, she does have talent in other areas. That's not right to say that. I mean, she does have. See, I mean, she direct videos and stuff like that. She has her own podcast and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she is talented that way. Okay. But, you know, now she's saying, you know, look, it's hard or it's something about it's hard to find to love Will or have sex with him. What their love life? Let me see. I got to pull this up because Jada just stay out here, you know, wanting something other than Will. That's all that is. You know.
So okay, so
look. One of the headlines say, "I wonder how can I embarrass this man this month."
So you're saying that this is a prime example of a relationship built on as a business as the basis, rather love and companionship off the rip being the basis.
I think Will came in at a time in her life where things weren't going too well for her.
Okay.
You know, because I believe at the time, at one point she said she was actually sleeping for Rose and sleeping around for Rose in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
And this and that and the other. Okay. And he came through, man, you know. You know, Willie D said you gotta let a yo be a yo, and Will didn't let her be that yo.
But listen though, in every freaking episode, I said the same thing. It's still going back to, I think the foundation is that one, that compatibility, like really going into like what we kind of had this pre-discussion earlier when we talk about going into a relationship wholeheartedly, like meeting somebody and you connecting. I'm like puzzled as to, I know people do things for all kinds of reasons. I know people do things for business, but I mean, if you get on your grind enough, then you can create your own business and create your own whatever. So marrying for it, and I know this is totally against the norm of what people think, but in my opinion, marrying for it, you're miserable. And so as we see in this played out in the headlines, even when you get the money and you're there, it's still something that's missing or lacking if you haven't built the proper foundation.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I believe. I think Will was the nice guy, but I think Jada, when you look at it, I think Jada still loves the hood guy. I think she still, her mentality is there. It kills me to hear how many women, or see how many women actually follow this woman, and she doesn't slept around. They say Will did it too. I'm like, they're both wrong. They should not be together.
And they say that they're not, that in that case, that they're not going to, that no matter what, they've made this vow to each other, no matter how bad it gets, no matter what, they are not going to part or separate. And I just think, is it then now a pride or ego issue versus what's healthy?
Because hell no, it's a money thing. That's a lot of money to split.
But you got money. I mean, come on now, split it. I mean, you can split it. I mean, you can split it and still be like well off.
I'm gonna put it to you this way: Will has more to lose than Jada.
Right, but I'm still saying, I'm still going to the point of saying, if you are in not just that marriage, but if you're in a situation or a marriage, I'm thinking about what's healthy. That's not healthy to me. I mean, I'm not judging. Not judge, but I'm saying.
But it is what it is, though. I mean, really, it is what it is. She says Jada Pinkett Smith explains why it's uncomfortable and hard to maintain a healthy sex life with Will Smith. Why are we talking? Why would you even talk about this out in the public like this?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like I went to a friend of mine's house the other day, and the Murray Povich show was on, or what have you. And when you look at stuff like that, or people that actually, air out all of that in the public, it's not coming from a healthy place. I think it's coming from a cry from. It's just like it's just unhealthy.
Unhealthy. Somebody who needs attention. Like I said, when I see Jada out here putting Will on blast, it's like, come on, dog. At least, I understand. Y'all, they don't even have young kids. Their kids are grown. So.
But some people say that, though, we're talking about the lost value system, though. Some people say that, I stayed because of the children, or I stayed, what have you. And oftentimes the children are like, I wish you all this fighting and fussing and all this, lack of peace. We'd rather, visit mom and visit dad than to have you all in the same house.
Right.
There's no peace. Because we talked about that before. We talked about it being, one of the most important things is having, peace when you come home.
Man,
peace with your partner. But first you got to get peace.
That's so valuable. Right.
Yeah. You got to come to peace with yourself and get yourself in a place where, I don't know. Somebody asked me that the other day, was, in a conference, and it pulled me to the side and said, you seem like you're really happy, like you're really in a good place. And I thought about it and I was like, well, I am. And that's because it takes a lot of time to do work on yourself. And then every day you still have to keep growing and still everywhere you go, there's you. So like determining what's important to you, we talked about, we said a lost value system, but what is your core value system and what aligns with your values and what doesn't? And if it's something that doesn't, then, you know, get to a place where it's okay to say that doesn't align with where I'm going, what I'm doing, and, you know, for my life. So, I mean, it's okay, and be at peace with that. A lot of times we're afraid of, I think it's like more afraid of loss than gain. So more afraid of what you can lose by standing up and by saying, you know, this is not what I want. This is not right for me. And then being okay and at peace with yourself to say, well, I will wait for what is right for me. Right. And whether, even if it's in a marriage that's not healthy for you, you know, because I think where I come from is a place of, you know, of course, naturopathic medicine, but natural. And I just think that, you know, when we go outside and we see all the peace that's surrounding us, I think we can have that peace ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we have to create it. It's what we create. And I think a lot of us give up that power. So I love when you said the law's value system, but I kind of flipped that around and was thinking about when you, what happens or what it looks like when you do have a value system.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we won't dwell on Jada Pinkett and her entanglements, her hookups.
You already know that there's some unhappiness going on there.
But my main thing with her was, I don't believe that, I don't think Will was ever the type for her. He just came along at the right time, you know, and I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to say she does not love him, right? She just doesn't love him in the manner that, you know, I think she would love somebody like Tupac, you know, that was her homie or whatever he was to her, but she still, you know, feels for him, you know, even in death, you know, Will has to compete with him.
Well, see, and that again, that goes back to, you know, knowing yourself and what you want. So you just said it. You know, you don't think that that's her type. Well, sometimes we don't know what our type is.
But you know what? I think it'll behoove us if we find out what that is, so we won't waste our time and theirs. Absolutely. We need to know what our type is. We need to know, you know, if dating a man making less than X amount of dollars is not your type, then don't date a man that's making less than X amount of dollars. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? By all means, do you. That's because that's your right to do as you please with your life as far as who you choose to be with. So don't date a man that's making less than such and such. But at the same time, don't complain about not having somebody, because sometimes we have these expectations, these goals, and these requirements that are sometimes unrealistic. And we make these goals up, and I need a woman that's this. I mean, she needs to be shaped like this. She needs to be brilliant like a scientist, but she needs to be like a homegirl, you know, like cool as hell. You know, and he's like, dude, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, just until now, I didn't know men do that, because women will say, okay, if I could take this from him and I could take this from him and this from him and this from him and slap it together, then I would have my ideal mate. But this is the funny thing, though. It's a funny thing. Good. What? Getting to know that. But you know what though? Getting to know, this is the healthy point. And what you just said was so freaking key. Like to settle, because that's what it is, and I'm not saying settling by being derogatory towards a person, but settling for what you don't want. That's what I'm saying in the settling. Okay. So if you settle for somebody that's not what you want, and then complain about it, you're still not in a good place. So some people complain about being by themselves, and then they go and settle. Then now you're complaining about that person. And it's like, you have to get to a point where you know what it is that you want. You decide that you're not going to settle, but you also decide that you're going to enjoy the space that you're in at that given time.
And my thing is, a lot of times when these people get that so-called person they want, they find out, I don't want that person either. You know, it's like, what do you want? Do you know what you want? You know what I'm saying? Inside of them.
It's something inside of them, Dan. It's not the outer. We keep trying to get happiness and peace from the outer. And if you keep doing that, then what are we like? I mean, you keep doing that. It's like, so we are imperfect people. So you keep trying to get that imperfect person to make you happy. And it's not outside, it's inside.
In terms of free and price and costing and stuff like that, happiness and peace and things of that nature don't cost you anything. You can just have it, you know. And a lot of times I see folks, you know, just angry about whatever the world has done to them or whatever they have allowed the world to do. And it's a lot of anger out here. A lot of people enter into relationships that haven't healed first, you know. And like I said, when we look at the value system and it's turned upside down and we got wealth as the main thing, you know, wealth can be accumulated. You know, wealth can, if we come in this thing, just say if two people get together, we make $15 an hour. But we work this joint together. Now we make $30 an hour. We make $30 an hour. We working 40 hours a week a piece, so that's 80 hours a week. You know, and you know, we're putting everything together. We're working together. You can stretch that 30. You can make that 30 grow. You know, but I've seen a lot of people that come in. So this person is the breadwinner. This person is the one that's always eating at the table and not putting anything, you know. And how can you grow when this person is always taking?
It causes resentment. Yeah. It causes resentment. Yeah. The thing that I like that what you said about, that was what I would tell my daughters and teach my children, is that if you, and I don't know where I grabbed this concept from many, many years ago, and I tried to implement that in my own marriages, but I guess it didn't work. It didn't work, I guess, because it was my idea. But I told them, you know, okay, so you're single and you're living off of 30, 35, whatever amount, 20, even 25, 50, whatever. Okay. And then you meet somebody and all these other things line up and they're making that or less or what have you. But if you are living off of what you're making and you bring another person in, yeah, things are going to go up a little bit. But if you all take that $30,000 and put that 30 in the bank and live off of 30 for a year, now you got 30,000 liquid cash. Okay. Then you do it another year. Now you got 60,000 cash that's going to benefit the both of you. Okay. So just say one more year. Okay. 36. Now you got $90,000 liquid. And you've lived off of one salary, and now you got the other. Now, instead of going to get a mortgage or going to get all of these depreciating assets, you know, whatever, now you got more money to either invest or do something constructive that's going to help to put you at a different or a better level. So these are some of the tips that when you don't start out with money or don't start out with inheritance or a silver spoon in your mouth, then these are the things that you can create for yourself. If you stop and you think, it's a lot of times we're just reactive and we're just acting on emotion and we're just whatever, versus having a strategy, you know, having a strategy and then having and meeting a partner with those same core values. And I think that's often the challenging part, is meeting somebody that's on the same page with you, that thinks like you. And let's not even go to sex and intimacy that match you or that's willing for you both to learn and bring what you bring to the table. Those things are extremely hard to find in a partner. So then you have all these people that are settling for less than what they really want or desire. And then now you have why you have the divorce rate, the way that you have the divorce rate, and why so many people are so unhappy, in my opinion.
And I'm looking at this chart, and you know, I'm actually, as I'm reading this chart, there's some things I didn't even read on this chart because the wealth and all the other things, you know, stood out more. So, and I'm looking. So when they said we got, it's called the lost value system, an upside down or backward system promoted as a winning value system. It's promoted as a winning, but it's actually a losing strategy, right? So when they have wealth is number one, it's no detachment. So no detachment means, you know, it's like it's people don't want to let go of their money. They don't want to let go of people. You know, that's something that's mine. It's mine. And people identify themselves with their money, with their possession. You know, and when you do that, once you lose that money, that wealth, That's what caused look at the Great Depression, when people were just jumping out of buildings, they lost their money. Hey, that's who I am. I'm nothing without this,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like I said, it's going in the order of importance. And the funny thing is, the next one is leisure time. Is number 2.
Leisure
how
time.
we choose to spend our no limit. Number 2, no limit, and how we spend our personal time, leisure. So right off the rip, now these are our value systems: wealth and leisure, how we kick it, where we go, the trips we take. You know what I'm saying? So this like, okay, so money is first. How we relax is second.
Okay.
It's like, hey, we're going on this girls trip, and the fella's going on this, and it's like, okay, so we're still not talking about anything important. It's good to get away, but it's like, okay, leisure time.
Are we using these things? Are we using these things to self-medicate? The adrenaline rush from accumulating the wealth, the leisure time activities or whatever.
Trips.
Yeah.
To be able to say, hey, I've been to Greek, Spain, and these are just talking points.
Right.
To make it seem like life is happy. Hey, I've been all over the world. I've been this and that and the other. You've been all over the world, still can't find a woman, huh?
What about the concept? You made me forget. I was going to say, what about the concept of really having that peace and that joy and that being content in your relationship and happy? What about that for a concept, huh?
Well, I mean, looking at this list, that ain't part of the top one. That's not near the top,
Make it sound like everybody just gave up. Like, okay, forget it. Let's just go for the wealth and the leisure time. Forget about the flip side of it.
That's what it sounds like.
It is.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like, hell, even when you look at what's number 3.
What's
number 3? No loyalty. That's what it's called. It's called, let me blow this up. Biology. One is biology. The middle is culture, and this is environment. So the biology of it is number 1, no detachment. The culture is our accumulation and possession of what we consider as valuable. The environment is wealth. We talk about wealth. Now, when we go biology again for number 2 is no limit to the amount of personal time that we have, and leisure and how we kick it. That's number 2. No loyalty, number 3, no loyalty. And the culture behind this is what our contribution to the world is, our profession. That's really important because, hey, especially, and I like to talk about the medical field, right? Because women that become nurses, I'm a nurse, I'm an LPN, I'm an RN, I'm an elemental PO. It's like
elemental P.
I'm an essential worker, all during the pandemic. I'm essential. Okay, so are people at Dollar General. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So that means you're no more important than the associate helping me get some toilet paper. That's no longer on the shelves.
I think it was called Fun with Dick and Jane. That was one of the movies, and Keeping Up with the Joneses was one of them that come to mind when you talk about, when you said about the person that keeping up with the Joneses was the people trying to keep up with each other and what each other has. So if I go get a Bugatti, I'm going to get a Maserati, or I'm going to get a Lamborghini. And so they all started that's what their values were placed on. Up doing, my wife, she just got this person, these red bottoms, and it was just back and forth until somebody found out that, I don't know, they was running a scheme or a scam or something like that to be in that neighborhood. It was a tripped out movie, but going back to Keeping Up with the Joneses was, that's sort of what we're talking about when we're talking about the lost value system, because we're placing all of our value on money and things and possessions. Yep. And and it just tripped me out when somebody passes away and you go in their house. It's like, I mean, that was like a some kind of paradigm shift for me. When I went in there, I was like, wait, okay, they're gone, and the reality hits you. All that stuff that they was trying to keep you away from is right here.
Yep. They can't prevent you from having it. I mean, whatever's there. Yeah. And we spend so much time, accumulating wealth. Hey, trying to see where we're going. We take we take a lot of time in trying to build wealth, planning trips, our profession. Hey, we spend a lot of time at work. We put a lot of time and effort in work. And then the next one, no discipline, what we know and fully comprehend our knowledge. Education is number 4. We pride ourselves on our education. We pride ourselves on our education. Like I told a young lady, I was like, yo, you all will put more time and effort into your education than picking a man. Y'all are, you all go to school. Ouch. For years on top of years on top of years. I gotta read this book. I got this 3,000 page report to write by tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna do it. And you all, hey, I give y'all credit. Y'all, when y'all say y'all gonna do something, y'all do it. But now when it come to picking this man, you got 14 degrees, but now you're getting served up by a man that don't even have a GED. You know what I'm saying? He tricked me. No, he didn't trick you. He appealed to you.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He appealed to you. He came through. He had the body that you want your man to have. He may even have spoken the language that secretly you want to be spoken to, the language you want to be spoken to you. These things, just like, you see this guy over here, he's the doctor and he has all these things. Actually, you really don't like him like that, but that together y'all supposedly will be able to build. Then you see this dude over here, he's your guilty pleasure.
Wow.
He's your guilty pleasure, right? You're looking at him like, oh man, I know he's gonna do this, break me off something hella proper, right? Right.
So hella
but
proper.
Then, hella proper, legs spinning like a helicopter, right? So
we're not changing the topic today.
So you got this man over here that you want to build with, but you really don't like him. But hey, y'all can be a power couple. This dude over here is going to give you all what you need because, hey, physically, he got the tools, right? That's the maintenance man. He's gonna fix it. Last night a DJ saved my life, right? And and then you got this guy in the middle. That's like you got the guy in the middle. That's like a mixture of both of them. But he don't make enough money. But he don't either.
Right.
It's just funny the way and how folks pick their partners.
Yeah.
And trust me, dudes do it too. We see, oh man, she got a big booty. Oh man, look at her, she pretty. I wish I could take that butt and put it on that face, and and it's like we gotta build a broad, Call
it building a bear.
Be like, okay, she got ugly feet. We want to take her feet and put them off and put her feet on her legs. Oh man, now trust me, men do this. We do the same thing. It's the same thing.
Wow.
We'll see a woman that's like that won't mean us no good. But just her physical presence alone and just what she look like and how she may do what we think she gonna do in the bed and all this, doing flips and jumping off the wall backwards and
but I guess I was going to say where's the list, but actually every person has their own list.
Every person has
own idea of what they want and what's going to do it for them. And so wow, that is something.
So
values,
like I said,
values.
we put all that.
Yeah,
it's
what
backwards.
values that person hold to themselves? Like, what is it that you? I mean, if you really think about that, you ask somebody, so what is it that you really want in a partner? What is it that you really want? And oftentimes, people like kind of hesitate.
It's the superficial stuff.
Have I even thought about it?
They can tell you about the superficial stuff.
Right.
They could tell you like the cliche stuff. I want somebody that's honest. I want somebody that's, gonna be loyal to me, not cheat. You're like, what does that entail? Please tell me. Now and then when you say, okay, now just say you get that perfect person that you put together. You just built this perfect man. You're 4'11", but you want somebody 6'5". Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Just, all the short women say, I don't want no man that's short. What's short? You're 4'11". What's short? What is short to you? When I put on heels, okay, you put on heels. Now you're 5'2". What? Now what? You're 5'2". So anybody over 5'2", 5'3", and up is your mate. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with no small man. There's a lot of big punks out here too.
Yeah, a lot of little men with power. So it's the perception.
And that's the thing. So then when you ask them, so when they build their perfect person, right? Then you say, now what do you bring to the table for that person? Do you fit the criteria or the requirements that they wanted to make? Now all of a sudden, now we mad. What do you mean? What I bring to the table? I bring me. It has to be more than that because that person also has requirements.
I think being clear though on your requirements, being clear and articulating it properly to the other person is what is where the communication breakdown comes. If you're not clear yourself.
Right, but I mean, I'll be honest. I won't tell you what I'm looking for.
Right.
It's why? Because I don't want you to pretend. Just be you. Right. If I like you, I like you. That if we don't kick it or hit it off and it don't become a long lasting thing, and we don't stay together, I ain't mad at you. We just don't fit. We shouldn't be mad because we don't fit. You know what I'm saying? And and that's the thing. We just these values that we have. They're screwed up. From the top to the bottom, they're all screwed up. We have inverted the value scale and wonder why our lives are the way they are.
Yeah, we have, and actually, my hat off to some people who actually are honest about what it is they want, what their intentions are, so that other person have the opportunity to reevaluate their own intentions and what they want, and that's the communication. That's the communication. I heard a podcast earlier today where a young lady was talking about her and her husband, they divorced. But she said the one thing that she respect him for was how he intentionally pursued her. And though they both had things that, later on they found out that they, weren't compatible and they ended up divorcing. But I think that shows a lot for somebody that can, when you separate, divorce or whatever, you still have good things to say about the other person, that you're not trying to tear them down, that you're not. And that's what I think. And I go back to the point of intention, like, clearly stating what your intention is, clearly communicating with the person and letting them decide if they want to be a part of that or not. And then being okay if they do not. But then the person can never say, because there are a lot of men out here now, and I don't know about the women, but I know a lot of men, and I hear my associates saying it, and I've experienced myself, that aren't clear on what their intention is, aren't clear on what their values are. So I say the same thing, mad kudos and respect for those that do, because then you can't be mad or blame them if the relationship doesn't go long term, or if either one of you decide to go in a different direction. At least you were clear about your intention, your purpose, what you were doing. At least you were clear. And then you have an adult situation there. You have adults deciding what they want to do or don't do. And I think that's where it gets lost. Because even on that podcast earlier today, they was touching on that a little bit about, about a lot of women that write in and say, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know, what is this, a situationship? Is this, what are we doing? And they don't know because it hasn't been clearly articulated to them. And I think oftentimes people, men and women, use that to keep the other person off balance intentionally. Because if they keep the person off balance intentionally, then they still have privilege to that person, but then they also have privy to do whatever else that they want to do versus being clear and being single.
Okay, now for me, I want to debunk the keeping somebody off balance part.
Okay, let's debunk. Let's debate it.
We're gonna debunk it, because even if he or she doesn't tell you what we're doing, you know what you want to do. And if what y'all doing is not falling in line with what you want to do, then you have the choice to say, I'm gonna keep playing this game, or I'm gonna say, you know what? Hey, you don't know what you want. I want A. You're trying to do C, D, and E, right?
Right.
So I don't want to play this game with you. So it's not up to the person. A person can tell you all day long what they are doing, whether it's true or not. We don't know. They know. But at the same time, we know how we want to be treated, or we should know how we want to be treated. And if that is not happening the way we want, it's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It shouldn't be a big fuss about it, man. It's like, hey, it's just not working. You just seem to want this, and I want this too, but I also want this and this, and you're not willing to do this and this. So I'm gonna let you find somebody that want to play the game that you're playing, and I'm gonna go find somebody that want to be what I want them to be to me.
That's clear communication. But that's what I'm saying. That's clear communication, but being true to yourself, having clear communication, but also being true to the other person and being clear in your communication with them. I get what you're saying. You're saying you have the total control, the total power.
Yeah, it's
and we
up
have
to
to
you.
own up. We have to own up to that, and that's why I said it's mad kudos and respect to the people that are open in their communication, because then you don't get people that because a lot of women do this, and I've heard it, and I don't, but I've heard it, where they are hopeful, wishing for, you know what I'm saying? And then they're able to be strung along because they're misreading somebody else's actions or misreading what they think something is, versus being clear in even their communication to the other person.
Yeah, that might be true, but it still goes down to you control the outcome for yourself, and we're not talking about a case of abuse. We're talking about just a regular relationship where we can just say, you know what, nah, I'm going to walk away. A lot of times folks stay around because this individual may not be treating you the way that you want to be treated, but they have something that you may want, be it sexual, financial, or something. There's something keeping you there. It's like, I've heard so many people complain about the way they're treated. Like, that's your fault.
It is.
I have to go back, and think like my old dude. He's just, man, it's like, okay, the first time, okay, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time that you keep letting them do this XX, just let that individual know, hey, this ain't working. This not working for me. It's working for you. It's not working for me. It's not working for us.
Right.
You're the only person that this situation is, advantageous to. It's not for me.
And so you're teaching a lot of women how to operate from a healthy place, because a lot of people don't operate from a healthy place. And so they don't even realize, and that's the sad part, that they have the power and the ability to say exactly what you just said. That's empowering.
But see, with an empowerment, you have to take accountability for your role in the demise of your relationship. You have to take accountability for all the things that you have control over. You don't have control over how a person acts. but you do have control over how they treat you long term. Like I said, the first time, second time, hell, you might even give them a first. They're gonna get a first time, obviously, because that's when you start recognizing. They might get a second time, but they shouldn't get a third or fourth or fifth and sixth, to keep doing you dirty. And hey, it's not that you don't love him or her. It's just that it don't work. If you're constantly in a battle with an individual about how you've been treated, how you feel, and this and that and the other, stop. Just say, you know what? Hey, I'm not mad. See, that's where the power of detachment is really good. Detachment don't mean I don't love you, I don't care about you. Detachment means, you know what? I want you to be happy. It just won't be with me because, we want two different things right now. Mm-hmm. Erykah Badu said maybe next lifetime.
Mm-hmm. That is so good. That is so good. That is absolutely so good because, again, like I said, a lot of, and I don't know if it comes from self-esteem issues, if it comes from not knowing yourself or not understanding that you deserve the very best. And that's what I want in our podcast for our ladies to really get, that you do deserve the best. Like, and when I say the best, I mean the best treatment. You deserve to treat yourself even better than sometimes we allow other people to treat us. And when you can come to that.
Y'all put so much, like I said, y'all put so much effort in your education, your profession, your businesses. Everything gets all this attention and this focus and this laser sharp focus, and it's under a microscope. Yeah. But then you had this dude come through, look like, oh man, he got different color eyes, they're not brown like regular black people. They're this greenish color, and he licking his lips all the damn time. And he's got a mustache, a beard, and he done made his chest move and stuff. It's like, oh, you're like, really? You don't spend all this time going to college to get these 24 degrees that you're $3 million in debt on. You know what I'm saying? You done put together 4 big businesses. You done traveled around the world. You done talked to the heads of state, but you're gonna let this dude come and you're not disciplined. You're not sexually disciplined.
All right, talk about that a little bit. It still goes into your value system.
Like we said, when you're sexually disciplined, you understand what it is you want. You don't have to have everything that looks good or pleasing to you. There's so many people out here that are beautiful people. Someone asked me to compare beauty. You can't compare beauty. You can't. We try it. We throw pageants. We try it. But you're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's different beauties. It's different types of beauty out here. You got women that have these round, full faces, nice lips, the large Africanized noses and this and that and the other. Dark, that's beautiful. You have the lighter skin shade, like I said, we come in all different shades and hair grades, so there's different beauty, short, tall, thick, whatever. It's beauty. And then beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And what's so beautiful about women that have confidence about themselves, not arrogance, but confidence, is them being able to walk in their truth, being able to say, you know what, this is who I am, and be healthy with it, because we're not going to body shame anybody on here, but at the same time, you got to be healthy with your joint. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no need to try to accumulate the wealth, being able to do leisurely things around the world, have this great profession and this education if you're unhealthy. So, sexual discipline is being able to say, yeah, he looks good, but he's not good for me. What Jill Scott said, in one of her tunes, he's like, I remember what we used to do, and when it boiled down to it, I was going to pick up the phone and call you, but I thought that ain't good because you wasn't good for me and I wasn't good for you.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful song. I love it. I love that song. And
that's called sexual discipline. She knows what's not good, and I'm gonna stay away. It was good. Why? When we had it, but overall, it wasn't good. it was just those moments we spent together.
Absolutely. And then I think a lot of people accept sex over intimacy as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people get them confused.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if that's a whole podcast, but that would be a great subject to dive into or deep dive into.
Sex versus intimacy.
Yeah, sex over intimacy or versus intimacy. And I'm hearing you say, ladies, behold your beauty. So beauty is being in the eye of the beholder. You have to be the first one to embrace your own unique beauty. Like we all have our own unique fingerprints for us, but for a reason. We have our own unique fingerprints. So you have your own unique beauty mark, your own uniqueness. And what you just described was, beautiful, rich, dark skin, beautiful, rich, caramel skin or whatever.
Caramel. We got them all. We got caramel. We got dark chocolate. We got absolutely skillet black. That's beautiful. That's the ether. That's that interplanetary cosmos universal look that we all have. We're melanated people. It's beautiful. Absolutely. And when you look at somebody say, oh, she's pretty. Why? She's light skinned. That's the only feature she got, though. So she could be a blank face with no eyes, no nose, no mouth, and just because she's light skinned.
Right.
And when you break down beautiful, beautiful is be you till full, right? Be you till full.
Oh, that is so good.
So that's the thing. That's the thing with beauty. It's how you carry yourself.
That is
I've seen so many women that are beautiful on the outside, but they have the ugliest personalities.
Mm-hmm.
That evil, just want to bite your head off just by saying hello.
Right.
So that's what that is. Now, I know we're running out of time.
Yes, we are.
I want to run down just quickly the other ones real quick. Number 5 is the world around us and how we interact with it. Mobility is number 5.
Okay.
And that's being able to move around. Hey, what kind of car we driving, this and that and the other, where we go, who we kick it with,
Right.
That's that. Our dwelling, where we live, grow and develop. Number 7. Well, let me read the biology behind it. Mobility is no fair structure. Dwelling, no peace. A lot of times where we live and grow and develop, there's no peace in it. There's nothing there. But our appearance. See, now we don't have any standards for our appearance now. Because now we're saying you can look like this, even though it's unhealthy.
Right.
And I'm gonna let's take Lizzo. Lizzo is a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
She's a very pretty girl. But does it look like her weight is unhealthy? Yes, it does. Because you got to realize when you're a certain weight, that taxes your heart, your respiratory system. Right. You get to a certain weight, it tears your knees up.
Right. Yeah.
And then it can play on your psyche. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, I'm feeling this way and this and that and the other because I'm overweight. And then they start playing this role for the world, like being the clown. And that's right now, that's what she is. She's being a clown. And it's like, yo, you got talent. You don't have to do any of these things. You don't have to be naked underneath the sheer garment that you're wearing. You don't have to be vulgar. You have literal talent. And you're a pretty girl. She's pretty. But somebody, she just doesn't have the right structure around her. She doesn't have the right support rather around her. Okay. Now we go to number 8 is family. Who we are connected to and have a relationship. No, but a lot of times there's no loving support.
Right. Support is so important. Absolutely.
Number 9, no care. What shape we are in physically, emotionally, and mentally. Health is number 9. Health is number 9.
Ooh,
And the last, but certainly not least, no truth. What we think, feel, and believe, our spirituality is last.
wow.
So we've inverted the value system.
Wow.
And they say, hey, whenever you have any one of those ones out of line, your life is going to be out of line as well.
Wow. Well, what would be your final remarks for today? Because you truly have pushed that sled, and I appreciate it. We got a lot of good nuggets, a lot of great, amazing nuggets out of you today, and that's what we do the podcast for, to just to deep dive into these subjects and get other people. I know we have men and women that watch, but to get people to really dig into themselves, and if we can help somebody to do a paradigm shift and live a more fulfilling life, then hey, then our work has been done. How would you put a bow on today's episode?
Well, the bow is really this. All of these things that we mentioned today are important. They're all important because we need wealth. We need to eat. We need a place to stay. We need clothing, right?
Right.
We need these things. And in order to have wealth, you got to have an education to get the profession that you need to accumulate that wealth. And so in saying that, everything goes hand in hand. These things are all important. We just need to put them in the proper perspective now. Because see, when you base things in the right order, then your life will be in order.
That is so good.
So
that is so good. Ladies, I hope we did listen up today. I actually have a whole page of notes that I took myself. And until next time, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe.
You're supposed to do this.
Share. Okay. Like, share. Keep pushing the slow, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. I did that at the beginning. Make sure if you share this information with somebody else, I'm sure that it will help at least one person. And until next time, stay fearless. Bye for now.